Long ago, in the glowing city of Starlumia, people lived happily under a sky filled with twinkling stars. It was a city where laughter was brighter than the sun, and smiles could light up the darkest corners. The protectors of this city were the Supermans, a team of heroes who were not just strong but also kind, clever, and brave. There were four of them: Solar Sam, who could fly faster than light and warm the coldest hearts; Luna Leia, who could hear whispers from the stars and bring peace with her voice; Thunder Theo, who could control storms but used his powers only to protect; Mighty Max, the youngest, strong enough to lift mountains but gentle enough to rescue a kitten. Together, they promised to guard Starlumia from danger. One morning, as the golden sun rose, something strange happened. The streets were silent. The playgrounds were empty. The children, who usually sang and laughed, sat quietly with blank faces. Even the fountains in the city center stopped dancing because they were powered by joy. Solar Sam frowned. This is not right. Where have all the smiles gone? Luna Leia closed her eyes and listened carefully. She could hear a faint cry from far away. The smiles have been stolen, she whispered. Something, or someone, has taken them. The team knew at once that this was no ordinary problem. Without smiles, Starlumia would fade into darkness. The Supermans followed Luna's guidance and reached the Forest of Shadows, a place most people feared to enter. The trees there were tall and twisted, blocking the sunlight. As they walked deeper, Mighty Max spotted a trail of golden sparkles on the ground. He bent down and said, "These look like pieces of laughter. Whoever stole the smiles must have dropped them here." Thunder Theo clapped his hands, creating a gentle thunder that shook the leaves. From the shadows, small creatures scurried out, grumbles. They were gray, round, and always frowning. "Why are you here?" asked Solar Sam kindly. One of the grumbles answered in a low voice. "The Shadow Collector came last night. He trapped all the smiles in his black lantern. He wants the world to forget happiness." The Supermans exchanged worried glances. The Shadow Collector was a dark sorcerer who fed on sadness. If he succeeded, not just Starlumia, but the whole world would sink into gloom. The grumbles showed the way to the Cave of Echoes, where the Shadow Collector hid. But it wasn't easy. The cave was guarded by puzzles, traps, and illusions. At the entrance, a stone door blocked their path. Words were carved on it. "Only those who laugh together may pass." But how could they laugh when all smiles were stolen? Luna Leia thought for a moment, then sang a funny, silly tune about dancing stars wearing shoes too big for them. Thunder. Theo added sound effects, making booming thuds like clumsy footsteps. Mighty Max pretended to trip and fall in the most exaggerated way. Slowly, the Supermans began to chuckle. Their laughter was real, because it came from their bond, not stolen smiles. The stone door rumbled and opened. The cave glittered with mirrors that reflected sad faces. The Shadow Collector stood in the center, tall and cloaked in swirling darkness. His black lantern glowed with trapped golden smiles, flickering like stars in a jar. "You cannot stop me," he hissed. "Without joy, people will follow me in silence." "I will be their ruler," Solar Sam stepped forward. "You are wrong. Smiles are not just magic in a lantern. They are born from kindness, friendship, and hope." The Collector laughed coldly. "Then let me see if you can still smile after facing your fears." The Collector waved his cloak, and illusions filled the cave. For Thunder. Theo, storms roared wildly, threatening to spiral out of control. For Mighty Max, mountains crumbled, too heavy even for him to hold. For Luna Leia, voices of stars cried, telling her she wasn't strong enough. For Solar Sam, the sky turned dark, and he feared losing his light forever. For a moment, doubt filled their hearts. But then they remembered their promise, to protect Starlumia together. Theo breathed deeply and calmed the storm with gentle thunder. Max remembered that strength was not just muscles, but courage, so he stood tall. Luna listened closely and heard the stars whispering encouragement instead of fear. Sam shone his light brighter, pushing away the darkness. Hand in hand, they broke the illusions. The Shadow Collector roared in anger. He lifted the lantern, and shadows shot out like snakes. But the Supermans stood in a circle, their powers combining. Sam's sunlight beamed. Luna's voice sang a melody of hope. Theo's thunder gave strength. Max's hands formed a shield of protection. Together, they created a burst of golden light that shattered the lantern. The trapped smiles flew out like glowing butterflies, spreading across the city and returning to the people. Laughter echoed through Starlumia once again. The Collector shrieked as the light swallowed his shadows. When it faded, he was gone. Only a harmless, tiny shadow remained, scurrying away. The city lit up once more. Children laughed in the streets, fountains danced again, and even the Grumbles found themselves smiling for the first time. The mayor of Starlumia declared, "Today, our heroes saved not just our city, but our hearts." Let us remember that smiles are not just gifts. They are powers we must share every day. The Supermans didn't ask for rewards. Instead, they simply said, "The real power of a Superman is kindness." And from that day forward, whenever sadness tried to creep into the world, the people of Starlumia remembered how to laugh, hope,